Derek, I want to start by reading you a few of the comments that are underneath your last fight on YouTube against Alexander Usyk.
Yeah.
Got to give Chisora credit. He really went for it. The man is still a beast. I like Chisora as a person. As a boxer, he's a bruiser and a gladiator. What a great man Chisora is. The heart and soul of an elephant. I go on like this. You hold a real special place in boxing fans' hearts in this country, don't you?
Yeah, and to those fans, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I always say, as long as I can box, as long as I can move my 2 feet and my two hands and move my head, I'm going to give the public what they want. I'm not going to come in and try and do a cagey fight and try and win it by points. I just love fighting. I will entertain you guys every day.
What do you think it is about you that people find so compelling?
Most people say they're the people's champ, but to be honest, I'm just a normal guy. I fit in with everybody, with the bad side of the public, the good side, the middle class, everybody. So I'm just, just love boxing and just be real to myself. I'm not about trying to please any sponsors, and I say how I feel. If I'm upset, I tell everybody how upset I am. If you're pissing me off, I'll tell you straight. But if most people are getting pissed off, they can't say it because they're scared to lose their sponsorship deals. But for me, I'm more real for myself. I like to just say how I feel at a spot at a time. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I like it.
Do you think this has helped with your longevity, and that in your whole career you've been able to be authentically yourself, and here you are still trucking along?
Don't know, man. It's all in God's grace, man. He's provided me with the energy, with the power, with the motivation and stuff like that. So it's everything I do right now is for the Almighty Christ.
You mentioned motivation there. So what is it? The motivation now? Is it glory? Is it the money? Is it just the love of the sport?
Ain't no love for the sport, it's the money. If any fighter tells you it's for the love of the sport, he's just loads of. It's the money. You think I'm gonna get punched my head in? It's the money.
So is that the first thing you think of in the morning when you have to get ready?
Of course.
Yeah. So as long as the money keeps coming.
Listen. I loved it when I was an amateur. You box, you wake up, you go to an amateur gym, you train, you put your skipping rope, you train, you do your thing, and then they tell you're fighting and you fight. And the happiness of boxing as an amateur was boxing a guy from Tottenham. You beat that guy, and then after that you get your ticket, you get your sausage and chips and a can of Coke. That was the best time, do you understand? That was like, yes, and then they write your name on the board, yes, you won. Next day you go back to the gym, you train. Oh, well done on your fight. That was for the passion of the game. Mm-hmm. You understand? Passion of the game. That's when you wanted to be a boxer. There was no politics in it. There's no politics in amateurs. There's nothing in it. It's just love of the game. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. When you get into professionals now, first 4 fights, you're loving it, and then afterwards you realize it's politics. Then it's all about money. Because when they fall, you got to fight. First thing you ask for. How much am I getting paid? How much is the fight gonna revenue? That's the numbers. So when everybody tells you, oh, I'm in it for that because I love the sport, man, I'll tell you straight, man, I'm in it for the money.
So are we as fans naive sometimes to think it's any different?
Sorry, what are you saying?
As fans, are we a bit naive to think that it's any different? People box for different reasons, or is this just the way you see things?
Everybody boxes for the money, man. Box for the money to prove you're better than anybody else.
Okay. So if the money keeps coming,
yeah, I want to tell the fans out there, don't get me wrong. I love my fans. I love you guys. This is why when they pay me good money, you guys come and watch me, and I give you that war you want. Do you understand? It's just all about money. Don't ever someone tell you, oh, I do it for the love of the sport. You're talking lying. He's lying to you, man.
But if I think back, so at the end of the Carlos Takam fight, that's one of my favourite kind of images of recent years, is you on the ropes with a big grin on your face with your arms out wide. That's not money, is it? That's something else, right?
That was an achievement because they wrote me off. That was not even about, that was about money as well, to be honest with you, because that was about if I lose this year, my pay grade goes down. I have to stick to it, you know. So it was 50-50. You know, remember people are playing in the Premier League and then suddenly they drop down. He has to downgrade his house, he has to downgrade his car, because suddenly you're on 60,000 a week. Now you've gone back down there, you're on 30,000 a week, you know. Your balance, your numbers are not calculating with your house you live in and the car you're driving or your ski, you know, things like that. So it's all about money. Everything in the world right now is about money. After this corona situation, it's about money.
But you said there you like proving people wrong as well.
Yeah, I like to prove people wrong.
So did that kind of push you along as well?
Push me along as well and get paid more money.
Yeah.
We still want to come back to money.
I'm getting the vibe, yeah. Which version of Derek Chisora do you think we're on now? 2.0, 3.0, where are we at?
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see next week.
Because this is all part of it, the proving people wrong. You always reinvent yourself. You always come back with something a little bit different. That takes a lot, right?
You know what? Right now I can't say much because my last 3-4 weeks have been so hard in training, and me saying anything right now would be totally like, you know, about myself. It's just like right now I'm in pain. My body is hurting me. I'm ready to go. You know, my training has been so great. You know, but come May 1st, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah.
So how has this camp been? You've got a new man in your corner with Buddy. How's that been working?
Buddy's great, man. Buddy's great, man. He's very old school American, you know. He comes in, he sits on our sofa, he don't move until I glove up and stuff like that. And then they tell me exactly what we're doing, and then we go on with that.
Whose idea was it to bring him in?
My idea.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why did you choose Buddy?
Because I wanted a boxing coach.
But there's lots of boxing coaches around. There's coaches that are closer at home than that.
Yeah, but I looked at the caliber and stuff like that. I looked at it around, you know, I looked around, certain trainers were busy and certain trainers didn't want to leave their houses, so I got Buddy.
Did you ever kind of met him before or come across him?
Yes,
or?
I have met him in LA a couple of times. I've been in LA.
Could you tell us a bit about that?
It's just an Americana. It's funny. You always got jokes every day, but it's quite cool. But when we start working, we work.
Yeah.
Not much is changing. It's just improving the style.
So what's he bringing to the table then? What's he bringing that
His
someone
experience.
else
His experience.
You're kind of feeling that already in the gym?
Yeah, he's not changing much. There's nothing much is changing. He's just adding more.
I've heard he said that he never watched any of your fights before. Do you believe him?
I totally believe him because he's never watched anything of mine until you went to see Callum Smith in Liverpool. And then Callum told him exactly about me and stuff like that. And he goes, what? So when he came back, he was like, did you do this? Did you do this? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, there's so much history you don't know. But which is good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he didn't come because of, I'm going to train this guy who done this. He just came because we worked together before in LA for like I think it was about a week when I was in LA. And then he came for a week and we tried out, we see how we connected, and then the next 2 weeks he came back.
Is it nice to work with someone who hasn't got any preconceptions of you then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Different kind of energy it brings to it? Or?
Different energy, you know, he brings a grown-up energy, you know, that good vibe. There's no egos. Yeah. And you think you'll feel that on fight night as well? He's going to bring something in the corner. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Tell us about Joe Parker. Tell us what you like about him. Tell us what you don't like about his style. What's he bringing to you?
Joseph. Joe, you know, I like Joe. You know, there's not much bad things I can say about Joe. You know, he's from Australia. He's done well for Australia, very good and stuff like that. Sorry, where is he from? Australia? Or is he?
New Zealand.
He's from New Zealand, but you always call him from Australia. And it works, they hate it. Even my Kiwi friends that are phone like, he's from New Zealand.
Very cute.
He's done very good, you know. So he's, but I don't think he's boxed a tougher fight than myself. You know, his toughest fight was with Dylan, to be honest with you. You know, and that was very hard. And even it was hard for him and hard for Dylan as well. But I think Dylan wanted it more than him. You know, he could not go to the other side because he don't live on the other side. You know, where you want it more. So it's gonna be a great fight, man. And plus, he's got 2 girls and I got 2 girls, so we're girl dads.
Yeah, so you'll bond over that, right?
Yeah.
Have you met him much outside of, well, you've met him at events and stuff in the past?
Yeah,
right?
I met him at events and stuff like that, but it's all right though. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing bad to say about him.
Talked about the Dillian fight being so hard for him. I spoke to him a few weeks ago and he said he did allow himself to be bullied, not only in that fight, but also in the days leading up to it. Is that what you're going to bring to him as well?
No, I'm not gonna bring no bulliness. I don't bully people. I just tell the facts. I'm not a bully. Bullying is bad. I don't bully nobody.
What about in the ring?
In the ring, I just want to beat him up.
You saw his last fight. What did you make of it?
You know, I thought it's difficult because, you know, they're both from the same country. They had the fans there. I think it was I thought my TV was on slow motion when the fight was happening. You know, Joe hasn't boxed for a year, and maybe it's how they trained. You know, less sparring. You know, there was no sparring coming in New Zealand now. Help some people to help him out and stuff like that. So maybe that's the fact you start looking at. That's why he boxed like this, and that's why he's in London now for the last 3 months training in London, so he can get his sharpness back and everything back together. So I don't look at that fight and judge him how he's gonna come in the ring. But his fight, he got a win, which was good, but it was not like a pay-per-view fight.
What do you make of his teaming up with Andy Lee? Do you think that'll change his style much?
I don't know. I think Andy Lee is a good coach. You know, he's been there. He's learned from the best and stuff like that. I can't say anything bad about Andy because he's doing well for Tyson Fury, and everybody wants to jump on that bandwagon. So for me to sit here and say anything bad about him, man, I can't.
What do you make of him also training alongside Tyson? Tyson knows you pretty well from your 2 fights.
There's nothing wrong with him. You know, he's most guys come in and train in here, and then they go fight my other friends and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong. It's just boxing.
It's a small world,
But
right?
it's a small world. Boxing is a small circle.
Yeah, yeah. You say you only kind of fight for the money, but if you win this fight, you're going to potentially be in line for a world title shot, 2022.
Man.
Dale, I can't believe, looking at your career, that you've had 1 world title shot, and it was nearly a decade ago. Look, do you harbour any ambitions to get back to that point?
You should ask Dylan White that. He's been waiting for the last 5 years and he hasn't got anywhere yet. You know, Dylan, he's been waiting for the last 5 years. You know, there's no point. You don't fight so you want to get your ambition to a world title fight, no.
Is it a bit of a waste of your time, potentially?
Potentially, to be honest with you, yeah. I fight because I want to fight and then give the public the fights. For me to wait for a world title shot, you have to sit down, ask Dylan Usyk. You know, there's guys out there, mandatory guys for the WO, WBO, IBF, WBC, but they're not gonna see that shot. You have to wait for 2 years or 3 years. You know, it's all about who markets much better when he's holding the titles. That's it.
Yeah. But if you win this,
yeah.
potentially it's going to be within touching distance. Does that excite you at all?
No.
Not even slightly.
No.
I just don't. I'd love to see it. The fans would love to see it. Your fans would love to see it.
I mean, touching distance of more money.
All right. Yeah. Well, if you get into a mandatory spot, you'll get a good slice, right?
To be honest with you, can I be honest?
Always.
I don't want to be in a mandatory spot because it's not. Charles Martin, he boxed a mandatory to be for the IBF, and he's the mandatory spot for the IBF. He's not gonna see that. He's not gonna get that shot again. You know, he's the number 1 for the IBF right now. You know, Dylan is the number 1 for the WBC. He's been number 1 for the WBC for the last 5 years. You know, so why want to put myself in that position?
I suppose if you're still getting big fights elsewhere.
Yeah, man. There's no point, you know. No point. I just put myself in a position where I can get big fights. don't want to put myself in a position I have to be mandatory and then suddenly I have to be sitting down for like 7 months, a year, you know, because I'm waiting for that shot. No, I don't want that. I just want to fight.
Let's talk about the fight. How does it go?
Fight's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be hell for me. It's gonna be hell for him. Yeah, it's gonna be brutal.
Where would this rank in terms of achievements if you pull this one off?
I don't know. I don't know what you say if I pull this one off.
When you win this fight?
Listen, I don't know, man. It's just another fight for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my 42nd fight, I think. Yeah. God damn.
Did you ever think you'd make it to 42 fights? A lot of people pull out before then, especially in heavyweights.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Don't know. I think you only pull out when you're scared. Yeah, when you're scared. You come up with excuses. You tell yourself excuses that, oh, I can't do it anymore because of this and this. I got injuries and this. But when you're scared, it's just like you're done and dusted, mate. Your heart is not in it anymore.
You never get scared?
Never, mate.
Do you ever feel something and you think, I need to channel this, whatever it may be, like nerves, excitement, anxiousness, even if it's not fear?
Yeah, I get anxiousness sometimes, but scared, no.
I suppose with the experience, you know what to do with that feeling, right?
It's always been like that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. That was really great.
Thank you.